She stood in my driveway screaming at two cops to arrest me while red and blue lights painted my house like a crime scene, all because I wouldn't let her inspect a pool her HOA never owned. The look on her face when I handed over one yellowed piece of paper from 1978? Priceless. That single document didn't just stop her power trip. It burned her whole fake kingdom to the ground. I'm Ryan Harlan. Retired Air Force mechanic. The guy who fixes what's broken and minds his own business. After 22 years keeping planes in the air and then losing my wife to cancer, all I wanted was quiet. The old 5-acre parcel my dad bought in '78 gave me that. The house is nothing fancy. But the pool he built with his own hands in the backyard? That was sacred. Simple concrete. Blue tiles. A deck he poured so the family could cool off without ever needing a country club. I kept it exactly as he left it, clean. Private. Mine. Oakwood Estates grew up around us like a beige virus. Suddenly there were cookie-cutter houses. Perfect lawns. And one very enthusiastic homeowners association that acted like they were running the Pentagon instead of deciding if your mailbox could be black. I never signed their paperwork. Never paid dues. My property was recorded years before their covenants existed. Grandfathered. Untouchable. Or so I thought. The first time Karen Tanner showed up. She looked like every suburban mom who'd discovered power and liked the taste. Polo shirt with the HOA logo stitched on the chest. Clipboard in one hand. Smile so tight it could crack walnuts. Good morning, Mr. Harlan. I'm Karen, president of the Oakwood Estates Homeowners Association. We're just doing our annual compliance walkthrough to make sure everything meets community standards. I wiped grease off my hands and looked at her. Appreciate the visit, Karen. But this property isn't part of your association. Her smile didn't move. Oh. Everyone says that at first. But the covenants are very clear, every parcel in the development falls under our oversight. It protects property values for all of us. Ma'am. My deed predates your development by 15 years. Different zoning. You can check with the county. She tilted her head like I'd spoken a foreign language. We'll have to verify that. Of course. In the meantime, I'll just take a quick look at the pool. Safety codes. You understand. I stepped between her and the gate. You're not stepping on my land. Have a nice day. The smile finally slipped. Just for a second. Then it snapped back into place like a rubber band. We'll be in touch, Mr. Harlan. That night the first courtesy notice appeared in my mailbox. Unauthorized pool structure visible from street. Requires immediate HOA inspection and approval. No signature. Just threats of daily fines starting at $75. I laughed. Then I scanned it and filed it away. I dealt with worse bullies in the military. I knew how this game worked, push until the other guy folds. I wasn't folding. The whispers started 2 weeks later. Neighbors who used to wave now crossed the street when they saw me. At the mailboxes. Conversations died the moment I walked up. Then the Facebook group posts began, anonymous. Of course. Concerned about the unregulated pool on the old lot. With kids in the neighborhood. Someone needs to check for safety compliance. Karen was the only admin. Funny how that worked. Someone started a rumor I was hoarding water during the summer restrictions. Another post claimed I was anti-community and refused to participate because I thought I was better than everyone. One lovely comment suggested my pool might be attracting undesirables because I kept to myself. Classic Karen playbook, turn quiet into suspicious. Turn privacy into threat. I kept my mouth shut and my cameras rolling. Every letter. Every drone flyover. Every time her silver SUV slowed in front of my gate, I documented it. Patience isn't weakness. It's loading the gun. The fines escalated like clockwork. $75 became $150. Then $300. Non-compliant fence height. Unauthorized deck color. Failure to submit pool maintenance logs. They even cited the exact shade of blue in the water as potentially disruptive to neighborhood aesthetics. I kid you not. One Thursday evening I found a laminated notice zip-tied to my gate, final warning. Continued refusal may result in forced compliance action. I took a picture. Smiled at the camera I'd hidden in the tree. And went back to grilling a steak. Then came the drones. First one. Then two. Little buzzing spies hovering just over the tree line. Camera lights blinking red at dusk. I watched one on my phone feed while it filmed my pool from above. The next night, two guys in reflective vests with community patrol on their chests parked across the street and stared at my property for 40 minutes. I called the non-emergency line. They're not breaking any laws yet, the dispatcher said. But keep recording. So I did. The breaking point arrived on a bright Saturday morning. I was drinking coffee on the deck when I heard the metallic snap. I looked up and there was Karen, bolt cutters in her gloved hands, standing at my pool gate with two board members filming on their phones. The heavy chain I'd put on weeks earlier lay cut on the ground. I walked down slowly. Phone already recording. What the hell do you think you're doing? Karen? She didn't even flinch. Emergency safety inspection. Mr. Harlan. We've received multiple complaints about this unregulated water feature. As president, I'm authorized to act when there's imminent risk to the community. You're trespassing. This is private property. Leave. Now. One of the board members shifted nervously. Karen. Maybe we should. Quiet, she snapped. Then back to me. Voice dripping fake sweetness. You brought this on yourself by ignoring every reasonable request. The board has a duty to protect property values. I held up my phone. This is live. You just destroyed my lock on camera. That's criminal trespass and destruction of property. Her face went from smug to furious in half a second. Cheeks bright red. Eyes bulging. You can't hide behind some dusty old paper forever. This neighborhood has rules. I smiled. Funny. So does the county. I'd already hit the panic button on my phone. Two sheriff's cruisers rolled up 8 minutes later. Karen immediately switched to victim mode, waving her clipboard like a battle flag. Officers. This man is obstructing a lawful HOA inspection. He's been non-compliant for months and now he's threatening us. The older deputy, a guy named Ramirez with 20 years on the job, looked at the cut lock. Then at Karen. Ma'am. This is his property. You cut his lock? It was necessary for public safety, she insisted. Voice climbing. He refused access repeatedly. I handed Deputy Ramirez the folder I'd been carrying for weeks. Original deed and survey from 1978. County recorder's stamp. This parcel was never included in the Oakwood Estates covenants. It's unincorporated county land. They have zero jurisdiction here. Ramirez flipped through the pages. His partner read over his shoulder. Karen's face went from red to white so fast I thought she might faint. Ma'am, Ramirez said calmly. This document is pretty clear. His property isn't part of your association. You need to step back. She laughed, actually laughed. High and brittle. That deed is ancient. Our covenants supersede old records. This is ridiculous. We're the ones maintaining standards while he Standards don't override county law, Ramirez cut in. And cutting someone's lock to force entry? That's not a standard. That's a crime. Step away from the gate. Please. For the first time. Karen looked genuinely panicked. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. The two board members were already backing toward her SUV. Eyes wide. She tried one last desperate swing. He's been spreading lies about the board. He's dangerous to the community. Ramirez just looked at her. Ma'am. Right now the only person I see causing problems is you. Leave the property or I'll be placing you in cuffs for trespassing. She stood there frozen. Clipboard shaking in her hands. Face a perfect mask of outrage and dawning horror. The sunlight caught the HOA logo on her shirt like it was mocking her. Then she spun on her heel and stormed off. Heels clicking furiously down the driveway while her board members trailed behind like scolded children. That was the moment the mask finally cracked. What happened next was beautiful. I filed the police report with the video footage. Every drone sighting. Every patrol visit. Every threatening letter, months of evidence. The county assessor's office got interested real fast. Turns out when one homeowner pushes back hard enough, they start looking at the whole HOA operation. The audit took 6 weeks. What they found was comedy gold wrapped in legal language. The developer who created Oakwood Estates in the early 2000s had quietly included my parcel in their declaration without my family's knowledge or consent. They'd also built their community center and secondary amenity area partly on land that was never properly transferred. For 20 years Karen and her board had been collecting dues, issuing fines, and lording over properties they had no legal right to control. Karen, as president for the last 8 years, had personally signed off on enforcement actions against at least 7 properties that were never legally in the HOA, including mine. The county issued an injunction freezing all HOA operations. The local paper ran the story, Oakwood Estates HOA under investigation for fraudulent jurisdiction. Karen's face was blurred in the photo. But everyone knew. The final hearing was brutal in the best way. The judge didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. Mrs. Tanner. The evidence shows a pattern of overreach and misrepresentation that borders on fraud. The board is hereby dissolved. You personally are barred from serving in any homeowners association or similar civic capacity for 10 years. The association's accounts will remain frozen pending full restitution to affected homeowners. Karen sat there in her best blazer, hands folded so tight her knuckles were white, staring at the table like it had personally betrayed her. When the gavel came down, she didn't cry. She just looked small. For the first time, the woman who'd spent years terrorizing the neighborhood with clipboards and bylaws looked like what she really was, a bully who finally met a boundary she couldn't cut through. A few months later her house went on the market. The grass got a little long. The proud HOA president's sign in her front window disappeared. My pool? It's still there. Same blue tiles. Same quiet mornings. Except now neighborhood kids actually get invited over to swim on weekends. Their parents wave when they drop them off. Some even apologize quietly for believing the rumors. I sit on the deck most evenings, feet in the water, watching the light dance on the surface the way my dad used to. The new brass lock on the gate shines in the sun. Engraved on it are 5 simple words: private property, public respect. Sometimes I laugh thinking about Karen's face that morning, the moment she realized rules only work when they're real. So tell me, who was really in the wrong here? Was I just a stubborn homeowner refusing community standards, or was Karen the true bully hiding behind bylaws and fake authority? Drop your thoughts below. I read every comment. And if you've got your own HOA horror story, share it. You're not alone.